Okay, let's talk briefly about Pythagorean theorem. As we know, Pythagorean theorem deals with a right triangle, and as you can see from this diagram, the side opposite to the 90 degree, I'm talking about 90 degree right here. This is a 90 degree angle that I am shading in blue right here. So the side opposite to the 90 degree angle, 90 degree angle is the biggest angle in the right triangle. That is called the hypotenuse. So C is nothing but hypotenuse, and Pythagorean theorem says that if I square the hypotenuse, that will be equal to the sum of the squares of the two legs, A and B. They are the legs. So that is pretty much the Pythagorean theorem is. Now there is another thing that we often hear is about Pythagorean triples. What are Pythagorean triples? These are set of three positive integers, just like A, B, and C, right? We were talking about Pythagorean theorem. Legs are A and B, and C is the hypotenuse. And these three positive integers, they should satisfy the equation of Pythagorean. That means C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. If any of the three numbers they satisfy this equation, then these are called Pythagorean triples. The most common Pythagorean triples are like these, just like 3, 4, and 5. And any multiple of 3, 4, 5 are also Pythagorean triple. Let's take for instance 6, 8, 9. These will satisfy the equation C is equal to A squared plus B squared. Another common example here could be 8, 15, and 17. And if any multiples of these will also satisfy the equation. So that is called Pythagorean triple. But what will happen if they don't satisfy this equation? Then comes into the picture how to identify whether a given triangle is acute or obtuse. And there we talk about the concept of Pythagorean Inequality Theorem. Let's understand it. Okay. So, Pythagorean Inequalities Theorem. How to understand it? There are two things to understand whether the triangle will be acute triangle or it will be obtuse. In what condition it will be acute? When the value of C squared will be less than A squared plus B squared. Remember, we are talking about the Pythagorean. The Pythagorean says that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, then it is a right triangle. But when the value of the hypotenuse square is less than the sum of the squares of the legs, then it becomes acute. Now, in what condition the triangle will be obtuse? When C squared, that means hypotenuse squared, will be greater than A squared plus B squared. In those scenarios, it is an obtuse triangle. Let's take one example to understand it. Let's take, for example, the side lengths that are given to us are 3, 4, and 6. So again, one more thing. C is nothing but the hypotenuse, right? So I will consider the maximum value as C, and I can interchange A and B with either of them. Let's try. And what I prefer to make a column. So c squared on one side, and then a squared plus b squared. Whether I have to write the equation as equal or not, I will decide it once I solve it, right? Let's try. What is c squared? 6. So 6 squared, 3 squared plus 4 squared. I will keep on simplifying it. Oh, this line it is not straight, it is crooked. We can manage it. 6 squared is 36. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, 36, and then 9 plus 16 is 25. Okay, what I will do here, I will rewrite it again, 36 and 25. Do you think 36 is greater than 25? Yes. So 36 is greater than 25. I can conclude that c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared. Because c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, this is obtuse triangle. This is what we were looking for. I hope it makes sense.